That's real talk. That's that wisdom. Wisdom is words being spoken by a wise man. To be a wise man, you gotta have what? The knowledge. Holy shit. Once you got the knowledge, then you definitely wisdom. But by what? Understand. So we can really go with it. Now, the only reason why I bring it up. No, he got one part right, consistency, but the other part, no. That's wrong. They have to like it. They don't like what they're doing. They don't want to do it. He's just doing it under protest. Now, if they like it, that's easy attitude. Make them excel in their likes. Excel. You guide them, but let them excel. Whatever necessities are in that time period is what you're using, right? Necessities of that timeline. Other than that, you good. Right, so back to the agriculture. Remember I said we were looking into agriculture, and that's when we understood that the Georgia Guidestones correlate. Remember we were using correlation. So we noticed that the Georgia Guidestones correlated with the movements of corporate. They used to say corporate America, but that's not really accurate anymore. It's corporate world. It's a world market. Only the rural areas think that it's still America. They're the only ones that in that illusion. It's a world market now. If the internet changed every fucking thing. It's on and popping. That's why they want to control it, because it's like making information be passed around to people that normally wouldn't have received that information this quickly. Like when old days, we used to be able to get the wisdom of knowledge stuff. You might not be able to get the actual degrees, but that's not really true either, because you can get them digitally, but still not the same as walking and talking. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that social media has made everyone a news anchor. They're both Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, you see, because they have the reporter, because they'll report what took place, and you have live footage. Sometimes they don't have to say anything. Footage speaks for itself. But you hear their reactions as the action is being taken place. So you take it from there, and then you know which way you're traveling. But at the beginning, you would say to yourself, it has something to do with blood pressure. When you first get knowledge of yourself, the first thing that you learn is through osmosis, you learn the 3-day fast. That's off the top. That puts you in a ketonic burn, as they would call it nowadays. Ketosis. Back in the days, we called it a liver burn. After 3 days of just drinking water, like boom, just wake up that morning, you slept that night, that's 8 hours, rested your physical composition, you was pretty much in a coma. And then you'll see after the end of those 3 days, you won't be resting, you'll rest better, and your body will be much more rejuvenated, but it won't be like you went into a coma. After a while, you'll be able to remember all your dreams. Then you start doing this. Before you go to rest at night, start from the moment that you woke up and remember it in your mind through a timeline, everything that took place up until you got in bed. Usually before you could get the whole day done, you probably knocked out, but that's the exercise that goes along with 360s. When you're doing the fast, when you're changing your metabolism, you ground zero and out your restarting, rebooting, getting rid of the virus and the Trojan horses, take your shit back to factory. That shows you how deep the physical composition is, that about 21 days, you would already have started the process. It only takes 21 days for the body to actually switch from not right and exact or heavy carbohydrated diet to a plant-based diet, which is more ketonic and healing for the physical composition. Chlorophyll, green, all the green on the planet Earth should really be the foundation to omnivores or herbivores or vegetarian, vegan, whatever the case may be. There's no people that are truly carnivore. But even if you was a carnivore, a true carnivore likes to eat the organs and the stomach and things of that nature, because that's the digested grass that they really would rather have with the kill. The blood, they want to drink the blood. See, true carnivores, they drinking a lot of that blood because that's what they need. That's the nutrients. They're going to suck it right out of that. Their body's going to digest that easily. And raw blood, they want it raw because it's not going to have the enzyme. It's not going to be active the way it is when it's coming out like that. When you cook it, it's not the same. You killed it. They need it alive. So that's how you know if you're a true carnivore. You have to eat it alive. You say, oh, I'm civilized. Whatever, then you're not a true carnivore. You eat it alive. It's no good once you kill it. You petrify it. You know, that's why you got to pound it half to death. If you really are seasonal, you try to get the choicest cuts at the top. You know, that's what it said. If you're going to eat meat, you're supposed to eat the best of meat, right? So what is the best of meat? It's not that you think it's just Deuteronomy and Leviticus, the ones that split up and chew a cud, that's the best of meat. No, that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about when you go according to the law, you should already been doing that anyway. And now when you pick the cut, you pick the prime cut from the animal, the prime cut, and it's grass-fed, not grain-fed. See, that's the prime cut. That's what he's talking about. Do that, and then you hit it in the head. You banged it, right? You'll recover from the 1555. You can do it. You just have to know how to do it. You can't be eating animals that was tortured and put into such a shock that their body is full of adrenaline. The meat is poison. You just don't know it. You know, you can't do that. If you go according to Deuteronomy and Leviticus, you wouldn't be doing that. So that's why I say if you already knew. I use that law because most people know that law. How to eat to live, that's another similar. They're similar. They all have those rules and regulations on what. It's not to bind you down, it's to free you up. It frees up your mind. The vibrations are different versus what you eating, what cut you using, what the animal ate, what happened to that animal before you ate it. You know, people don't even give a fuck no more. They just eat whatever the fuck is in front of them. You know, they don't know if somebody tortured that motherfucker for a year and then killed him and then fed you with it after they did some demonic shit. You know, it doesn't mean it's a mystery demon, but even if it was, so what? They doing it. You feel me? It is what it is, but anyway. The point I'm making is you can't be letting people control your food. It's easier for you to control your food than you think it is. You don't necessarily have to have a house with a backyard. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the farm and buy whatever it is you want. You could find grass-fed. It's not like it was when we first got knowledge of self. It's not like that now. It's much easier now. A lot of people bear witness to not torturing animals and zoos and all that craziness that came with the devil when it's talking about when the devil came on the scene. And man, that shit went havoc, because wherever the devil go, it's fucking havoc, and that's a fact. Wherever. And they say he, but I always said they. What he? Man, it was a bunch of motherfucking demons. You ain't never see those movies? There don't be no one motherfucker coming for you. Did you see Constantine? It was a mad demons. My man, listen to me, son. Whatever's coming, whether it's mental, physical, psychological, sometimes they might be giving you in your food, they banging you in the head with fluoride and chlorine, and dumbing you down with fake ass stories of this shit and that shit. I mean, you gotta read between the lines. What did he say? Fake ass news? Dude, some of that shit that crazy motherfucker be saying be real shit. You just gotta be able to see. Everything they say ain't crazy. Even crazy motherfuckers say some real shit. You know, they see what's going on too. You know, you can look at that shit how you want. Don't let your prejudice throw your whole fucking sight off on what the fuck is really happening. People be prejudiced and shit, and then they take their prejudices and make it like it's a real reality of what's really going on in the world. And it's not. It's just how you fucking feel. But you gotta like take shit as it really comes. Like, you can have a theory and a philosophy and a metaphysical ideology and religious concepts, but then when you gotta deal with physical manifestations, you gotta take it as it really comes. It's the same way if you doing katas or you doing forms. Well, son, when it goes into real combat, don't use that way. Use what it train your muscles to do. That's the same way you use your spirituality, however you see it, whatever level it is on for you. If you meditating and fasting, it's on that for you. The other people might need to go to the boxing gym and do it. Some people might be lifting weights and they concentrate, and that's how they get theirs. Whatever you doing to go inner, to your inner self and deal with what your inner self is dealing with, that's how you doing it. But when they dealing with life in general, if you don't adapt to what's going on, it doesn't matter what you bear witness to, you're still going to have a problem. So, now that we understand that, the correlation between ALEC, agriculture, and food is because they have modified genetically, they have modified on a cellular structure, twisting the DNA with certain chemicals they feeding the population, causing certain things to happen, and reaping from the benefits of these things happening through Federal Reserve notes. This in turn enables them to not only control food, clothing, and shelter, but medicine in the form of pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical industry then reinvents circulation of currency. Who you think is backing Bitcoin? You think that Bitcoin is some backwater people that don't know shit? Yo, what's up? And they making Bitcoin? I don't fucking think so. No, listen, people who don't know anything and aren't educated and haven't read any books cannot invent Bitcoin. People who are inventing that and making those machines and making it a currency other than what the bankers are using shows you the level of intelligence and the warfare that is being waged in the war of Armageddon. It's not minor as people think it's in their neighborhood. No, this is bigger than your neighborhood. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than everybody. It's crazy big, son. You're just a part of the manifestation, and see, that's what makes it reality. Is even within the manifestation, you yourself are complete, 360 everything. Nothing is wrong. You subtract as time goes on. But from the gate, you came with 100 unless something was wrong with the DNA, which means it's still the same, but they damaged it. And so, but when it came out, it didn't come out damaged. They damaged it. Now you got the damaged part of it. And if it's not too severe, some stuff you can't fix. You had that already. You got to fix the next genetic code. The sperm should be good on the next grandchildren or the great-grandchildren. You get it that way. You can fix the code that way. It's not hard. You can see your grandchildren if you clean up right now. I don't care what you got. You can have diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, any of those ailments that people have nowadays that 120 spoke about in the problem book. It's all dealing with blood pressure and organ failure. Not that they die, but they're failing to process due to a hormonal change in the physical composition because of the protein, the amino acid that cannot be digested, that is raw in the physical composition within the cellular structure of the hemoglobin. That's what's causing the problem, and that is causing a havoc on the whole physical composition all the way down to the bone marrow. It's seeping in the bone marrow. All right? Because that Roundup shit that fucked up those Vietnam veterans, that's the same shit. Roundup is Agent Orange. It's the same shit. They just processed it better, refined it, and they say it just kills weeds. But in all actuality, that's not really what it's doing. It's not killing weeds. It's killing... How can I give it to you in an understanding of regular... without going all scientific? Okay, there's certain bacteria in everybody, in everything on the planet Earth. The smallest cell structure all the way down is in everybody. And so, Roundup attacks those phyto, is what they are, really. They're equivalent to phytoplankton and zoological plankton. You have that in you, too. But it's just not the same as the ocean, but its pH balance is, well, basically, a long story short, it kills that. And so they're saying, oh, it doesn't kill you because you're not a plant. You're not a plant because plants can't move, but plants are what they call symbiotic with you, inside of you, right? Symbiosis. You seen Spider-Man and that symbiont tried to attach itself to him? Well, you born with a symbiotic presence from the gate. Even when you inside your mother's womb and you just are air particles in a clot of blood attaching yourself to the uterus wall, you still have that manifestation coming out on its own. You can't stop that manifestation. It's born that way. So that's why I said they poison you on a level that you haven't seen this level. I would say around after Vietnam and all that, that's when they really got their shit together on why I said the Georgia Guidestones. Because in the Georgia Guidestones, it has certain rules and regulations that have been written. So it shall be written, so it shall be done. And so it's there for everybody to see. They're big. You can Google Georgia Guidestone. I'm surprised people say they never heard of it. I thought everybody heard of them, but anyway. It's like modern day Stonehenge type shit, so I didn't believe that. But anyway, it's in Georgia for real, in America, not Georgia overseas. Georgia Guidestones. The story had something to do with the Rosicrucians and the Rosicrucian order, and then they tied it back to. It makes me laugh because when I hear Illuminati, I think of Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Prince Namor. That was the Illuminati I read when I was reading books. I didn't know about this new Illuminati. So it's funny when I think of Professor Xavier, and, you know, he's head of shit. Or when the kings meet up, you know. When the kings meet up, King T'Chaka, King T'Challa, depending on what era it was, all the way back, you know. Like the tribe of Storm, Aurora, and the King T'Challa goes back to the dawn of time. They've been leaders, and it's just supposed to be just a modern way. Anyway, that's the way the legend goes, the storyline. But the point I'm making is that the root to all things are going to come back to knowledge, wisdom, understanding. From there, you're going to be able to make your judgment call. So if I'm saying, just try anywhere from 30 to 90 days, shit, I think you'll feel a difference within 21 days. That's my theory, but the lesson always spoke on 28-day cycles dealing with the moon. So you was going to do rounded off anywhere from 24,000 to 25,000. So anywhere from 24 days to 25 days. So that gives you the low end. And then the high end would be from 29 to 31, right? That would be how your fluctuation would move if you was going to follow the cycle. So, to make that simple, you give yourself 90 days. What's 90 days without any grain? I say grain, 90 days. Do no grain, no starch, no sugar, no refined sugar, right? Just try 90 days. I don't care what you got. You can have anything that you have. That shit has got to help you and help no matter what ailment you got. That's how deep it is. Now, a lot of people didn't believe it, so we tested it ourselves. That's what's deep about it. So, AOFA had to test the ground site where you could start. Because we had already been together and we had already been chewing living and we was already doing it, and it is what it is. Alright? So, you know, we tested it. And at first we didn't know about the wheat. So we, because really it's grain, but it is really wheat. But it's not just wheat. That's why I don't say wheat, it's grain. And then later on, when you heal your physical composition, you do this class, you've been introduced to the ancient grains, einkorn and all those different kinds. Because spelting them is still not old. It doesn't mean that you won't have an allergic reaction to it, because in and of itself, it gives the body an allergic reaction. But the ancient grain, like einkorn and all of those older grains, if you knead the dough and do like they did in the ancient times, remember they didn't really use yeast like that. They made sourdough. They let it get sour, fermenting. Fermentation changed the proteins at the amino acid level, and then your body can digest those proteins. That's all that's happening. It's the proteins. You're only eating 3 things on Earth. You know, don't let them fool you and make you think it's a whole bunch of different shit. It's not. You know, it's not. It's just like vegetables and all of that. That's alkaline. That's all that. Those are fats, and then those are your minerals and all that. Vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. Everything that you need the body to function with is in the green thing. Everything that you need is in the green. Whether it's on land or in the ocean. I'm not talking about depleted green, what's growing around on Earth now, but in its really pristine state, the green is the foundation. And then for fuel to really burn, because the green is building and things of that nature. And then for fuel to burn, you're burning two things. You can burn either one of them. They're good for burning and things of that nature, and that's amino acids, and it can be, amino acids is good for building. The green and all that is going to make sure that the amino acids can build in the correct manner. That's the best I can give it to you. They're going to build muscle and things of that nature. And when you eat, the fat is the only other thing that you're supposed to be eating, and that's what you're burning. You're going to burn that, and it's going to also make your body burn body fat while it increases muscle mass, even to the density level. All you have to do is work it. But if you're working it and you're eating green, you're defeating the purpose. You ever see that movie, Jumanji? And what is that girl that turned into the dude because they went into the machine, and that was her app. That was her, the app that she was using, the icon, whatever they was calling him. That's what he was. And he was the dude. But anyway, long story short, the point I'm making is, watch the movie and you'll see she's talking about her abs, and she's saying about her abs, and she's saying that she didn't eat bread. She hadn't eaten bread. She didn't even remember what bread tastes like. She hadn't eaten it so long. She was eating cake. She thought it was bread. Right? And I'm just making the point is they were trying to tell you off the cuff without coming right out and telling you is, dude, don't be buying bread from the supermarket because it's grain from Monsanto, genetically modified corn or wheat that God knows what else they put in it, probably sugar and all its different forms from the wheat and this and that and the third. And it's wrecking havoc on your physical composition to such a point that you either starting off with high blood pressure, that's what you're seeing, which they call hypertension, or you seeing diabetes, and that's what you're seeing on that end, or other crazy shit that's going on with your organs and everything else is going crazy. And then you start seeing you putting on weight, you become insulin sensitive. It's a slew of problems that come, not to the young people that don't get it. Their body's fighting it. That's not so right now. These young people be 30 and already getting hit in the head. So I guess it's weakening each generation because it's inside the DNA now. It's in the sperm. You know, you have to be the one who cuts the shock of the poison being introduced into the human population. Asiatic and European alike, humans and Asiatics on Earth, right? So, if you don't do it to be to your own demise, it's not like I'm talking about the people that we rolling with. I don't know what everybody else is doing. Their group is telling them, dude, it's not just, no, it's not. It's not just me doing it. This shit is big, son. I went to some classes and seen certain shit, but like I said, way back in Build to Destroy and Understanding, when I was going through 120, it was saying it then in the problem book. That's why we went the least amount of damage to the physical composition we could go. Everybody was doing it. Everybody, if they was eating animals, they said eat the best of meat. If they were eating, if they were just vegetarian, they was, see what happened. That's what happened. The raw food people didn't get bagged. When everybody switched over to be raw food, the ones who could do it and had the finance to go raw, their organs remain very good. Because the circulatory system, their systems didn't take a beating, especially if they kept up with the athleticity and athletic abilities that they had when they were young. They didn't stop. Okay, everything went good if they did that. The vegetarians, they were running around 140 over 90, close to 100, shit like that. That's how their blood pressure was running. Everybody was trying to figure out how. They was looking like they were getting kind of fat to me. I mean, I ain't trying to say nothing. I'm just looking at what was happening to the group that was directly involved with me. You know, how we were looking. We was looking like we was gaining weight. Some of us was fasting longer than others, but we still didn't know not to eat biscuits and fucking bagels and shit like that when we weren't fasting. So you would just go right back into the inflammation in your physical composition, which then creates other problems, right? That's what would happen. So anyway, long story short, we went raw because it's like the raw people weren't getting it. But going raw wasn't enough, even though it fixed us. Why? I mean, everybody kept saying, well, why? It's not just raw. It's not just going raw. Because once we stop grain, starch, and sugar, then the carnivores in our group, or omnivores actually, really what they were, every one of them, when they changed to they only going to eat grass-fed, red, split hoof, chew cud, and they're only going to eat in the prime cut of it, and the birds that they eat is going to be free range, but they're going to be grain fed, because you're supposed to feed birds grain, but it's not going to be Monsanto grain. You feel me? It's going to be bird seeds and shit that they eat as a bird. They went into the science of it, mostly with seeds and grain, pretty much. Seeds and grain. I mean, you can get all technical which seeds you use and which seedlings and whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, it was seeds and grain. You know, seeds like sesame seeds, those are excellent for them, right? All them soft seeds, they like those too. Anyway, long story short, they went that way. And they also were, a lot of them was making sure they went to the farms and did it. Immediately the inflammation stopped. It was like overnight, inflammation gone. You know, people, I don't feel this, I don't feel that. Whatever ailments they had, shit started changing for them. Now, this ain't like it's no religious sermon or nothing like that. It wasn't changing because of that. It was changing, yes. People was praying and whatever, and they was hoping that it worked for them, and that's all good. Do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, if you pray and eat arsenic, you may go to heaven, but your ass is definitely going to be dead. So don't be eating no grain, because it's like eating arsenic, only on a cellular level that's subtle. Doesn't kill you right away. They got to make money from you. They don't give a fuck who they make money from. Trust and believe it's on a level of, we going to make money from them, and we over here, we going to make them think it's this and that. And they just have everybody going fucking crazy. You hear where the fathers talk. He talked about it. He said that they was doing all that shit on purpose, trying to make everybody crazy. They came up with all these ideologies. Long Davis is booked in the plan, and Wisdom Builder Destroy Degree in 120. And the really was Wisdom Builder Destroy Degree in 140, right? 88 and 120, but I mean, who's counting? I'm just saying. It is what it is. All that shit. So it shall be written, so it shall be done. You read Pale Horse. All of the different coaches speak on it. You could, you might say this, that, and the third, but everybody's saying that. Well, dude, we living in it right now. My sister, listen to me. If you don't get it right, and stop calling the devil on your spouse or your neck, because really you thinking you ain't a spouse unless the courts, which are just people telling you it's okay, they give you some piece of paper that makes you feel better. That's not how it works. You could do it yourself, and you could insure yourself, make a will, whatever. It's better than the courts having control of you and your children and all that craziness when you go under the state rule. That's what I'm saying. We keep going this way, and they keep if you give them control over you, they will take control over you. And if you let them not give you education and let them feed you information, you'll believe that information and you'll make your judgment call based on wrong information. That's what's happening. It is what it is, motherfucker. History is history. It happened already. You can't change what went down. Just don't try to hide this shit. And the people who have the ability to hide it are not us, who can read and write and this and that and the third. Dude, you can read and write anything you want. You're not controlling Barnes and Nobles. So you got to think like, well, who's at the Library of Congress and shit? Now you got control of reading material. That's global. You got to think global. What's happening globally? Do the people know what's going on globally, or do they even know what's going on in their neighborhood? Sure, some people don't know, and that's okay. You got to have the regular people who don't know what's going on. But the people who do know what's going on, you are the ones they look up to. I don't give a fuck what order you in. Somebody's alpha and somebody's going down till they get to zeta. It is what it is. So you alpha motherfuckers and beta, they second in command, and some of you C people in the understanding position, all the way to 26 actually, but you know, it depends on which way you roll. And them first three, y'all gotta really tell the people that. I don't care, just tell the people, listen, if you want to increase your brain capacity, your libido, your muscle mass, you want to decrease your sickness and shit like that, it's some simple shit. Because people was running good. Just start off with, I'm gonna start working out. I could just walk a mile. These are people that's sick. You're gonna really need to take your time. All you people that's well, you know what to do. Just cut the grain, starch the sugar off. But people who are sick, they gotta gradually make moves towards whole foods. That's really what you're trying to do. So you want to think about, I want to eat food that when I look at it, I know it's a food. And I know where it came from. Either it came from the ground or a tree, which still came from the ground, but you know what I'm saying. You can, when you look at it, you should know what you're looking at. Or if you don't, you could be able to take a picture of it and go on Google and it'll tell you what it is. You shouldn't have to read a package. You don't need a package with an ingredient on an apple saying, well, this is an apple and the ingredients. No. You got to read ingredients. Don't eat the shit. That's how you're going to have to treat your body till you try to heal yourself. And you're going to think in 21-day increments so that you're thinking from 7, 14. You're going to work on it that way. So once you hit you think in 7, you're going to say, okay, each day till you get to the point where you're saying each hour. All right? Now, here's how you're going to do it. Now, this is the remedy. You're going to eat nothing but whole food. Right? You're not going to eat, because the trick is not to eat anything cooked, but you can eat cooked food, but you just can't eat any cooked grain or raw grain. Any of it. Even the good shit like the quinoa and the black rice and the wild rice and all them other rices. That's, some of them make you throw up, some of them don't when you're not grain addicted, when you become, it only takes about 90 days for you to break the hold that grain has on your physical body. The same way heroin kind of has, the heroin addicts, the opioid crisis or whatever. It's not that traumatic, but it can be a traumatic experience because of the way people think. Oh, you're losing weight. Yeah, you're losing weight, but you're losing that body fat. That's not what your muscle was. You're supposed to be increasing muscle, losing body fat. That's a healthy body. The body burns the body fat. It should be regulating itself automatically. Your body will regulate itself if you give it green leafy vegetables, sufficient fats. You're going to get your proteins, your amino acids, and all that from fruit that has amino, that is like nuts and grains and that. I mean, not grains, pardon me, but those grainy type nuts. You're going to eat them raw, okay, like almond, macadamia. You really only need 2. You could use macadamia and walnut and be complete. You could throw some cashews in there for different taste and some almond in case you want to make different things. But the walnut itself is complete, right, in itself, by itself for your amino acid. Boom. Right? See, it's real simple. Like your fats, you could get your fat and protein from your macadamia and your walnuts too. You could get your coconut immediately will satisfy 3 things at once. It'll have proteins, your amino acids. It'll have your fats. It'll have carbs in the form of a fruit, which will give you that sugar that sometimes your body likes, but it'll be coming from the coconut. It's all in there. Like if they could pull oil out of the coconut, they could pull sugar out of it, then it's already complete in there. When you just drink the coconut milk and eat the shell, you get, the meat inside. That's complete. That's a complete food by itself. All right? Hemp seeds, complete food. Chai seed, that's a complete food. whatever you put it in that's liquid, it enhances each other. Symbiotic relationship, especially with water. You get you some water where it has the correct mineral level, not alkaline by artificial means. You want water that was alkaline by earth. She needs to alkaline your water. Those volcanic type waters and all those different Fuji and all them places, that's all volcano stuff. That's the best water. It has the best minerals. Your body assimilates it with the quickness. But other than that, you need green leafy vegetables that's getting two kind of minerals. Sun mineral and earth mineral. It uses both because that photosynthesis and all that turns that sun energy into different minerals, and certain plants put it back in the earth. Some plants pull certain things out of the earth, and you consume them and you get all of that. You be fixed with that, all right? So you want to burn what is called clean fuel, like 300 and all them in that movie. Do you think they got cut up eating Dunkin' Donuts? You couldn't believe that they would be cut up if they was eating Dunkin' Donuts. They go on a strict dietary law and a strict regimen of workout, so that when they're working the muscle, it really does increase in density and mass. If you're insulin resistant, you're not going to get much mass out of that. You have to eat clean. You have to get the body to accept insulin at a level that it can make the amino acids do what they need to do to create muscle. It's not rocket science. It's just basics. Like, you need those three things. That's it. You don't need carbohydrates pretty much in the form of grain. You don't need grain. There's nothing in grain that says you can't get it from somewhere else, that it has it, that nothing else has it, and it has it. Other things have it in a better form. The fructose in grain isn't better than what's in the fruit coming from a tree. The amino acids, the protein from grain isn't better than walnut, macadamia, and all that. It's not better than navy beans or black beans. It's not better, right? And then what's left? The carbohydrates that's burning. That's not better than vegetables. How is that better? It's not better than vegetables. If you was an animal, it'd be good for you. If you were like a cow with a double stomach and it wasn't Monsanto and you was eating the grass, because it's a grass. You're not really supposed to eat grass. You're supposed to be split up into a cut and eat grass. You got a double stomach. Different parts of those grass eaters eat different parts of the grass. That's how it really goes down. It's animal food. Certain food that's green and grass is for animals, and certain food for people is based on your digestion. It has nothing to do with you higher or they're lower or whatever. I know people be thinking they better than animals, but that gives you the start. If you think you better than animals, then they start thinking they better than people too. Certain people they think is below them. Oh, it might not be the same species. See, we can get on the species too, because if you look at canines, they can interbreed within each other because they're all canines. They're all the same species. If something is not the same species but is close enough to make babies like donkey and horse, then the offspring can't reproduce. If they're different, that means they're slightly off. But when you're talking about baboons versus orangutans, they can't make babies at all together. It's not happening. Monkeys and gorillas and all. None of those people can mix. Giraffe can't make a baby with a lion. Are you kidding me? Can't even make a baby with a zebra. So, but, look, I'm going to show you some shit. We're just going to use the regular language so that everybody knows what we're talking about. So we're going to go with the colors, even though that shit ain't real either. But we'll go with the black, white, brown, red, yellow. Right? That's pretty much what they use. An amalgamation of whatever those five. All of them, that's why you got amalgamation and miscegenation, because all of them can equally reproduce and the children can reproduce. And dude, they all the same species. It's the same species. You can think whatever the fuck you want. But if you can reproduce, the genetic code is right and exact. What? It can merge and mingle and what? At a level the doctors like to argue about it. That's how it is, son. It is what it is. It's keeping it real. It is, but DNA is DNA. It can mix and mingle and blah, 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 right? Okay, yes, there's different subtle changes in this, and these people that, and this, that, and the third. Yes, I'm not going to say there isn't differences inside of these different, but there's differences between orangutans and apes and monkeys, and there's differences between leopards and lions and tigers and jaguars and cheetah. And there's differences, they're all cats, and there's differences between the horse-type animals like zebras and Mustang and Arabian, and then there's, you got animals that look something like them but aren't really them, because I don't think a zebra and a horse is really like as much genetically together as you would think a Mustang and Arabian stallion would be. They're different, but they could mate, right? I'm not on into the mating of animals and shit like that. I'm just saying on a genetic level, you don't see a praying mantis and a black widow spider trying to make a baby. Shit don't go down. But if you look at people, everywhere the genetic code has the part where it meets at each other. They call it borders today, but it used to be the tribal lines. Wherever the tribe was at, that was the line. We had this, you had that. When we moved, you take this, we take that. You just kept moving because you can't own Mother Earth. But anyway, that's another story. But I'm saying, at all the old days, you seen at the end of the line, there's amalgamation and miscegenation going on all the time, right at where they meet. The whole tribe moves like this hand, and this hand moves next to this hand and that hand. When they meet, those parts always mix and mingle. It is what it is. It's the way the earth works, so that you don't you procreation, but you don't what is called gene pool. It always keeps the genes right and exact. Right? Your inhibitions. You see that girl, she see you. Y'all just like each other. You don't really control that. That's out of your control. Right? You see her, she see you, y'all kind of like each other, and then, if the circumstances is right, y'all can get together and whatever happens, yada, 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 right? That's usually how procreation kind of works. You're not in control of it. So on the borders, that happens already. Now, later on, as time went on, the lessons say the rulers and the rich pretty much control the propaganda. And by controlling the propaganda, they make the subject matter, and they make it an education, and they teach the people. And then after you teach them long enough, like if you look at how the people got brainwashed, they brainwashed their children. You don't have to. Once you brainwash the parents, and they have children, they teach their children the brainwashing. You already got them. And if you could do it to them without them feeling pain or hurt, or you could brainwash them with them voluntarily being part of it. You own that whole generation. So you just have to replicate what you already made manifest, and it's already been replicated. You see the people that twisted. The people don't have a clue. They're busy watching some kind of show on TV, and the black ops moves are making moves on a level that they don't even have a clue. But at the ground level, if I gas you up and you think breakfast cereal is right and exact, and you eat it, this is good, and then you put some sugar on there with it to make it even taste better, and then them endorphins are going crazy in your mind. You love that shit. It's a favorite cereal you like. Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. You might like that. Somebody else might say, I don't like those. I like shredded wheat. All right. Somebody else like country cornflakes, new country cornflakes. All the children be liking Fruit Loops and all that other crazy shit that they make for children. And everybody's eating breakfast cereal in the morning, right? There's grain. Just think of it as there's only 3 things on earth that's you're really eating. So you're eating grain. That's what you're eating, right? So when lunch comes around, they make them, let's say we're going to go with the regular things that most people like. We're going to have hamburger, french fries. Everybody can relate to hamburgers and french fries, or a hot dog and french fries with either a soda or a milkshake. Everybody can relate to that. They're going to be thinking they had some vegetables, some meat, some grain. Okay, but in reality, this is what they had. They're going to think they had bread. People don't think of bread as grain. They think of it as bread. They know it's made from grain, but they see it as flour. All right? Their mind is twisted to the other side. They don't think it's grain, dude. All right? And the beef that you ate, force-fed grain into those motherfuckers. They got no grass. And now you get secondhand grain from the meat. And then the tomatoes was genetically modified. They're bigger than your head. The lettuce, that's genetically modified. Plus, most of the time they don't have to genetically modify. They give you iceberg lettuce, which they don't let the flower grow, so it never gets all the nutrients that it would have got if the flower grew. Just that little bit of shit, because they want to pick it early so it don't go bad. You know, it's not personal, son. I'm trying to get paid. Anyway, you getting the bad end because you eating iceberg lettuce. It's just like drinking water with no minerals or nothing in it. It's nothing. It's empty food. They probably put some mayonnaise on there, and they made the mayonnaise some egg whites, and they tortured all of those chickens when they made it. So you got tortured chicken, egg white mayonnaise. Hellman's are one of them old crazy motherfuckers, plus with all the other crazy shit they put in there with it to make sure it don't go bad. At the bottom line, they gave you some more wheat, so you ate wheat like 2 meals, breakfast and lunch. Now, when you go home for dinner, Mom cooked a good-ass pot roast. Probably, you know, with the moms usually give you a 4-course meal. They're going to have vegetables for you. You know, the whole 9 yards. Just starch. They're going to have bread on the table for your grain. Milk for you to drink, you know, or maybe she fresh squeezed some orange juice for you, whatever. Probably Tropicana or something. The dinner might be a little easier on you. There'll be other shit in there. But at the end of the day, even at dinner, you're going to see some form of Monsanto grain. So even though it's not as much as the first 2 meals, it's enough to boost it right over the next top. Because you eating those 3 squares 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And now you've been doing it for 20 years. Now your knees are hurting. You know, shit is happening to you. You like, God damn, I'm not telling nobody when I go to my doctor that there's other shit that's happening to me, and I ain't really saying that. And that's how shit is, you know, going down. You don't know what to do. I'm trying to do right. I'm doing, shit still fucking me up. I only cheat every once in a while, blah, 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 blah. Because you really don't know what to eat. You really don't know what you're doing. You have no clue. There's nobody telling you really the story. You're using Western world shit, pharmaceuticals, regular doctors, and all these motherfuckers. They don't know themselves. They don't learn how to really fix you. They learn how to give you what the pharmaceutical people told them to tell you, that you got to take this to get fixed. And it's like a Band-Aid. It doesn't really fucking fix you. You be really fucked up still in the game. So you trying to figure out what to do. So you start going alternate. You start going, fuck this. This is a new day and age. I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to Twitter. I'm going to Facebook. I'm going to check out these people. Eventually you're going to run across things like How to Eat to Live. Going to run across that. And in How to Eat to Live is going to lead you to things like Problem Book. It's not going to be called that, but the bottom line is going to be that. And at the end of the day, it's going to say something like you shouldn't eat for 16 hours. Anywhere from 12 to 16 hours, shouldn't be any food in your physical composition that you put in it. It should be digesting or whatever you're doing, whatever you already ate. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. 4 hours before you go to bed, 4 hours before when you wake up. There you go. 16 right there. Hook your body up with that. That gives your growth hormone a chance to fix your physical composition, whether you're working out or you just trying to heal from whatever the American society's dietary law. It ain't really a law. It's like go for anything and let the corporate America feed you crazy shit. And then you're going to die from it, but not fast. It kind of like takes half your life. You kind of guarantee 120, but it give you like 60, and then they give you some pills and you make it to 70, and you're fucked up in the game. You're walking around all crazy. You're losing your mind. You don't really know your grandchildren. You can't run with them. You're done. You're really supposed to be looking like those guys if you're standing in front of the pool that's old. They ain't telling you all the secrets. They look like... You think Sylvester Stallone is eating Monsanto grain and he's in that kind of shape at 70? You believe that. And you see what it's doing to you. You don't look like him. That's for damn sure. And you're 70 or whatever you are. Motherfuckers be 42 and don't be able to lift their weight. You know, they could feel themselves, even the ones who feel like they half-ass in shape, they could tell that it's not going up, it's going down. All right, so that's what all the experts say. I'm just bringing you the experts said it. I'm telling you that I saw it in 120. I saw it in the problem book. I saw it in 360. I've seen it in all these different manifestations, How to Eat to Live, all these different books. But also, I saw it in the same manifestation of the paleo diet, the ketose diet. They all kind of going towards the vegan people, the vegetarian. They all going towards more of a whole food, plant-based diet to get away from the ailments that pharmaceutical companies aren't able to fix, that they cause kind of by being down with ALEC and all the rest of them crazy motherfuckers that come up with all kind of crazy shit to fuck people up. And they get fucking paid from it. That's pretty much what's going down. In plain layman language, it's all about them dollars and cents, and I control the money and this and that and the third. I kind of control, you know, the control freak. They just want to control every motherfucking body. So the best way to keep you under control and tie you right in, that's why I kept saying the correlation, right? We're going to tie you right into the Georgia Guidestones. It says we need to bring the population of the planet Earth down to 500 million. That's what those Georgia Guidestones say. And that there's too many people on Earth, and you eating up all the food, but it's really the reverse. They lying, they blaming you, and they're the ones fucking it up. The regular people aren't pulling all that oil out of Mother Earth, her blood. They're not doing that. They're not pulling the gold out. They're making them pull it out. There used to be enough on top of the earth that you didn't have to dig all in her. But, you know, they don't give a fuck about her or you. So they're doing any fucking thing to make sure that they got their generational control over the planet. And damn if the planet dies, or you die because you're on it and it looks like she's dead, but she just rejuvenates after you're all gone. Don't think that you can't be gone off this planet if all the food depletes because they have some kind of catastrophe and the plankton dies. They don't all gotta die. It just gotta die enough where it's fucking us up and any of the mammals on the planet. If the mammals start having a problem, you're a mammal. You're gonna have a problem. And so that's all it needs to do is fuck up the mammals. And everybody else could be alright. Which you know that it is fucking up the mammals. The amphibians are going to be the first ones to feel it. And they're already feeling it. Because that means something is wrong at the plankton level. The planet is an ecological disaster right now. I know people don't think it, but it is, son. It is fucked up. And it's them doing it. They're the ones that's crying about, oh, this, that, and the third. No, dude, stop fronting. It's you doing it. You the one got enough to put the commercial there to let the person talk about it. It's your commercial and your picture that you're saying that you're doing this. Both sides, they're on both sides. They're the ones telling what they're doing, and they're the ones doing it. So they're doing it, and they're telling that they're doing it, and then you pick a side. You either want to be on the side that's doing it with their money, or you want to be on the side that's not doing it, but it's fighting them, but you know you're getting your little funding to fight. And it's all a fucking facade. Both sides getting fucked. They fucking both sides. They don't give a fuck. Do you think that they're not selling weapons to both sides? You gotta be killing me to say that. Did you see that? Did you see any of the research that says they'll tell you themselves, oh, we've supplied both sides. So if you supply both sides, then, you might give this one a little more, this one a little less, this, that, and the third. It's all a ruse. They're just playing games with you so they can do what their real agenda is. Right? And so nobody knows what the true agenda is. We just see the repercussions of what the agendas that they do happens. We see the gold mines, the silver mines, the Federal Reserve knows the control of the monetary system, the control of the real estate, the control of the land, the control of the food, the control of energy. You see it, And so from there you see what's going. That's what you're just seeing, the wisdom form, the reaction of what took place. You're not really seeing what went on behind the scene that made that happen. That's just what you see. The oil was leaking into the Gulf of Mexico, and you don't even know if some of that was intentional so it could fuck up the plankton so that plankton would be eaten by the crustaceans, and then the crustaceans would be eaten by the people, and they could bring those numbers down. You feel me? And we fucked up the wheat so they could eat the wheat so they could get ailments, and we could bring those numbers down, and we could get paid off of these foods at the same time. Right? See, they doing it to everybody. They hitting us all in the head, even themselves. They hitting, some of them is moving the stuff, saying, eat the wheat. They think it's good, and they're eating it too. And they're dying. And they drank the coffee too. They don't know that it's not fucked up. The people who know what's really going on, not at the level what I'm talking about, but at the level where they really are behind the scenes, they're not telling us what really went down. Why would they tell us? They in good control of shit. Matter of fact, you will never see them. You don't rub shoulders with these people. They way up in the stratosphere, and you're like in the sub-basement. You're never going to run into them. Alright, so that's not how it works. You run into the cause and the effect. That's what you see. But we're at the bottom of the pole. We can control the whole thing. You just got to stop certain shit. That's why I say knowledge itself makes you stop certain shit. Definitely changes your whole dietary law. You don't eat modern diet. You eat ancient diet. That fucking takes it out of their hand. The further you go ancient, the better it is. You growing your own shit. That's as ancient as you can get. You got to take other measurements because, the soil is fucked up. But you could do like a pool. That was one of the agriculture methods. They had a pool. Doesn't have to necessarily be a pool that was built by the system. You could put a pool in your house. You take the dirt and you put it in the pool. And you grow you buy the dirt, you create it. You can mulch it. Dirt is easy to make. You can go find your own. You get you some volcano ash and shit like that. You can do it. You can buy it on. That's why I said the internet changed everything. You can buy good ass volcano dirt. They'll ship it right to your damn house. Buy it right now. You can buy a little bit. Put the microgreens in it. Change the whole shit. See, so you can do it now. It's not something that's not doable, even though it sounds like it's astronomical. Remember, I told you you're not responsible for nobody but you, your little woman, and your children. And she ain't responsible for nobody but you and them children. You don't gotta try to help the whole planet. You just gotta help you. Everybody can do them. You don't gotta be out here telling nobody shit, risking your life. Fuck that. Don't do that. Crazy motherfuckers will turn you in anyway. If you make a big stink about something and get a lot of people to listen to what you're saying, you don't got to do that. They should know already it's a free world with free information, even though you're under lock and key and not under lock and key. It's like two things at one time, so you can do it. It's doable, right? Pretty much, that's all the remedies, right? If you want to take it to the next level, of course, some people took it to another level, and they got fruit trees, and they're growing all their own food. They took that out of their hand, and they took it to the next level of how they get water. There's free springs all over the country. You can look it up online. You can get it, Google it. It'll show you everywhere they're at. You can go. People are always there filling up their little jugs. You can do that. You can buy water kits right on Amazon. Any kind of testing you want to test for, boom, they got it. You can buy it. If you buy them ones, you get 10 different tests in a kit. It's like $24 to $38. The real good shit's like $38 to $42. But the shit will last you for like 5 years. You know, you can test any kind of water, any source, whatever the case may be. It's easy to get to this shit. So that's why I say it's doable. And in 90 days, if you had high blood pressure, say you had 200 over, you about to be in the hospital, your shit's 200 over 120, some old crazy shit, right? Man, you say, all right, I done fucked up. All right, we're gonna do the 16-hour to 12-hour no food. And then when we do eat, we're only going to eat green leafy vegetables. You can put your colors in there for taste. You know, the different vegetables that have different colors. They're not green. You can add your fruits. Fruit like different type of nuts as they call it. That's still fruit of the tree. Walnuts, almonds, cashews. You can do your seeds like pumpkin seed, this, that, and the third. Need to be raw. Soak them in water. You good. Do the mineral water, whatever. Because most of the time they've been dried out so they can store long. You want to give them back water. It makes it right on your digestion. And you want your fats. You know you need your olive oil and your coconut oil. So you're going to work with that. You're going to use your what is it called? Apple cider vinegar, Bragg's if you can. You're going to add that to your cipher right quick. Even when you cheat or fuck up or whatever you do that you knew you done fucked up, don't fall off. Just whatever you fuck up, put it right on top of a salad. Whatever you crazy shit you did, throw it right on top of that giant ass romaine lettuce with spinach. That's the real best of the salad, is those mixed spring greens with the spinach and some romaine. Don't fuck with the iceberg. You good. That's how you gonna roll. Every time you know you fucked up, you gonna get those wheatgrass juice and all that. You gonna add that to the cipher. Whatever you did, you always add that to the cipher. You'll be good. You won't be totally, but it'll offset some of that crazy shit just as long as you don't put the poison back in. You know, you can't never cheat with wheat, starch, or sugar. You can't cheat with that. If you're going to cheat with that, then you have to cheat in the form of, it looks like it, but it's not that. You're going to eat, if you're going to use cauliflower for a crust, or you're going to use almond for a crust, or cashew for a crust, or flaxseed for a crust. One of them, this means you're going to have to get some chick or something to make it for you. Maybe she'll get some dude that's a cook and baker and he'll make it for her. However you work it, do it yourself. Some of us are cooks ourselves, and we know we was vegetarian, and we know that shit didn't work, right? And we still was overweight, and we couldn't fucking figure it out. If you'd have stopped eating grain, it would have been good, but nobody knew, right? Nobody could tell. All right, so now we know. Everybody's making that move. What else did he say? What else did they ask? It was like 12 different questions. I hope I answered mostly, if not all. Just let me know later what's going on. You know, we got good communications. I answered. Hit me off, and I got you. Pretty much, that's like the whole remedy. Other than that, I would say go plant-based, go raw. You can't lose going raw. If you go raw, you can't. Even when you cheat, you ain't cheating, right? So that'll definitely fix you. You want to do a 90-day just to see. You want to. I meant to tell you, like I told you last time. What you want to do is you want to go and buy one of those blood pressure cups. You can use the one for your wrist or for your arm. They do everything. You just put it on, hit the button, boom. You want to take a reading in the morning, and you want to take a reading at night. Those are the two readings you want. Before bed and when you get up after bed. Like right immediately when you get up, and then 15, 20 minutes after you've been up, you want to do that one. And then right when you get home from work or whatever, you want to do that one. And then right before you go to bed, you want to do that one. All right. Then you want to get the digital scale, because you're going to watch the kind that has density, body mass, weight, checking your bone, and your muscle density. They got those kind now. They deal with your pulse and everything, right? You're going to get that kind of, and it's going to do it down to the digital side. So you're going to monitor that. That's going to give you some kind of incentive, right? The workout program everybody was using, you can use Tony Horton, P90X. He's got a good one. You want to use, in conjunction with Tony Horton, you want to use Combat Conditioning from Matt Farr, if I'm saying that right. And I forget the other brother's name, the one that wrote the book called Convict Conditioning, right? So you got Combat Conditioning, Convict Conditioning, and you got your P90X. They're going to do all, that's your aerobic pretty much. That's going to keep that heart beating and everything, right? Remember I told you how when you change the heartbeat, let it automatically change. That changes your blood pressure too. That changes everything in your physical composition. So the videos from those seminars or those doctors, if you need those are on Prince Namor's channel. Just Google Prince Namor. You're going to see it's going to lead you somewhere, either to Twitter or Facebook or YouTube. You're going to be able to find it. All right, you're going to go there, and then that'll give you the seminars where you could go take those seminars from them people yourself. And they got the paleo people, the keto people, and you have the raw food people, and those are the three that we would had people that went to those seminars and listened to them and brought the information back. You can do that, and because you could do it on your own. You don't need anybody to do it. The other one was you want to pick some, if you're young. Now, if you're old, you might not want to do it. You might just want to do your aerobic or your brisk walking or whatever the case may be. But if you're young enough, you want to go pick some kind of combat sport. Boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate, jiu-jitsu, Shan Ryu, Hapkido, Wing Chun, Kung Fu, Wushu, any of that. You want to pick any of those. Not so much for the fighting that it does, but the ability that it gives your body to move. Alright, that's what you want. You want to do one of those. If you're not going to do that, then you want to go with extreme sport like decathlon or something like that. Not so much bodybuilding, but more powerlifting or something like that. Bodybuilding's okay, but it's too much isolation of the muscle. You want some shit that really works, that you can use. Alright, you want to do that. That's on that. But like I say, if you're older and you don't feel that, you don't have to do that. You can just make sure that the heart on its own beats faster and causes you to breathe at an elevated pace. You want to bring that. You want to bring your body to that level so you can do it running up the stairs in your building. You don't have to do anything. You just do that. That running up the stairs will be different than running straight, but you can do it running straight too. Make the heart beat. That's why we say when you leave the grain alone, your knees won't be hurting, so you won't be afraid to run. After you get a certain age, the knees start hurting. That's that build-up. So, all right, that's covering the athletic abilities. And then all the study. You got the 120 books you got to read. You don't have to, but the criteria is those 104 books. But it's 104 times 2. Right? But you have enough time. You got 3.5 years to read them. That shit, you probably won't finish but 60 in 3.5 years. You have to go for the next 3.5. But you can do it because people have done it. It's just they didn't have anything else to deal with. So if you like regular people, if you're getting this at an elder age, like we got it in high school, but if you're getting it and you're an adult, that, and it might take you 6 years because you got to work, take care of children, you got to pay bills, and do whatever the fuck you doing. But you probably already good, got your degree and everything. You set, you making your money. Now you just re-knowledge yourself. You coming to the next level. So you already got your economic part. You got your trade, your profession. You already did that. So you don't have to worry about doing that. That's for the young people that's new. They don't know they need a trade or a profession. So you got to be able to adjust, like I said, adjust to what's going on and what level you at. All right. What else was left? I don't want to leave anything out because we kind of getting ready to leave this subject because we got enough on that. Everybody knows what they're doing. We won't be coming back for another 6 months on that particular subject so that we can see what the progress is. Remember, we did the 11th of January to March, and we saw the change. And then we did from March to May, and we seen that change. All right, it's July now. So the next time we're going to meet on the food laws will be October. That's right, the man's rally. We're going to meet at the October, so the females are going to meet up and the men are going to meet up, and then they're going to give their results, and that's how we're going to see what went down. And then the next hit would be, the next thing we're addressing is the epidemic of the flat world people. They going crazy now, you know. And we killed them with a microscope and a telescope. That's all you need. You kill that whole story. Everything dies with the microscope and the telescope. Done. All right? Other than that, as above, so below, as below, so above. Stop. You killing me. All right? I'm not even going to spend a lot of time on that, but we already did the show and prove where it came from, this, that, and the third, the foundation. They faking like it's this old, but really them crazy ass motherfuckers that came with the rest of that crazy shit. It's them, it's their ancestors, their children, and it's all them fools that if they wasn't on Darwin's side, they was on some other shit. Kill the animals. Who gives a fuck if everybody's extinct or whatever, some crazy shit. Can't listen to these motherfuckers. When do they tell the truth? Alright, so don't fuck with them. You stay over on this side, you be alright, you know? Alright, so that's end of that shit. I know Lord Jamar heard the God told me, he said, yeah, Lord Jamar jumped on that side. Okay, but he ain't us then. If he's that, he's that. He could be whatever he want to be, but he ain't this, because that's not what we advocating. We not advocating mental slavery for the masses of the people. You feel me? All right? So the next hit is, right, you know about the volcanic water. That's like the foundation. You gotta have water. You need those Himalayan pink sea salt. Himalayan pink salt, if not sea salt. You could get sea salt. Sea salt is good too, but make sure it doesn't have that decoagulating agent in it. That's not good. What else is left? Don't worry about a juicer. Think more of a blender like Vitamix. Excellent machine. You can look that up. Look up Vitamix. That'll go good with the 360, and it'll go good with the problem book, and it'll go good with the 1 to 40, the dietary part of the 1 to 40, right? What else is left? I'm thinking. Okay, you know about, well, you was going to get the telescope and the microscope anyway, because that's part of phytoplankton, zoological plankton, and sun, moon, and star. You was going to get that anyway, so you can make your own judgment call of what you think is real or isn't real. All right? And then, well, the mathematics is the foundation. Alphabet is language and phonics and all that, but that's when you're starting at the beginning, so you already know the homeschool is where we going with it, right? So, some people have already did it up to 12, 13, 14. They went up to 14, and then they let them go to a university or whatever. Children went to universities from that level, right? Sometimes they went to universities, but not in America. They went overseas, which was even better. Gave them a real good perspective of what the world is doing. We live in a bubble over here. Shit ain't really happening like we think it is here. All right, what's the next hit? That's pretty much it. You're going to move to the level of farm if you can, or growing your own food, semi-individual farm. You know how to do it with the greenhouse, the whole 9 yards. Those lessons are already there. What makes grass green? It goes all into all of that, right? That lesson. What's the next degree we hitting? That should cover everything, right? With that, I'm gonna say peace. All right, we're gonna hold it down. This is what? That'll be class. I don't remember the number. My people, they know what number it is. But other than that, that's it, right? We out. And I'm out. Peace.